Hello, welcome to this little video. It's about photography basics, cell phone and camera basics. Now, in this little video, I'll be talking about cell phone usage, like how to take pictures on your cell phone and how to take pictures on a camera. Now, of course, taking pictures on a camera is totally different. You can learn. I recommend you to be looking on YouTube and reading a manual on your camera if you have a camera. Now, if you know how to work your camera, it's fine. If you don't have a camera, it's okay, because any picture you take with your cell phone, it's okay. Like, most of our social media pages are filled with a bunch of cell phone images, because it's just quicker and easier to edit and to move and to upload. It's just quicker, faster, easier, and very, very convenient. Now, the first topic I'll be talking about is focus and holding still. Now, when you're using a cell phone, make sure to hold your phone with both hands to take a steady shot. And when you're doing this, make sure to brace your elbows, which means keep them close to your body as possible, because this creates a stable position for you to take a picture. Now, I know when taking pictures, sometimes you may have to get on the floor to capture a good shot, either sitting on the floor or sitting on the curb or something. Since it's outside and usually in hot days, I recommend you to always take a towel. Always have a towel just in case. Anything like water, anything's wet, you could just take a towel, sit on the towel, and take pictures that way. Of course, you will have to use your body in order to take certain angles and stuff like that. A camera cannot do that by itself. You have to move the camera. When you're taking a picture of an object on your cell phone, of course it's easier on a cell phone because you have the option of tapping on the screen and the phone will automatically focus to that object or that subject. So you just tap on it, take the picture, and then that's it. It saves on your phone. Now, of course, when you're taking pictures on your phone, make sure you don't move, because again, it will take a blurry picture. It's happened to me so many times when I'm in a hurry and I take a picture and I thought it took it. It didn't. It took it all blurry. So just take your time. These two images of me holding my phone, the vertical. Of course, when you're taking a portrait mode, you always want to have it vertical. When you're taking a landscape mode, when you want to take a landscape type of picture, use a horizontal. Now, when you're using a camera, I recommend you to always wear your neck strap, no matter what, because you may never know. Someone might come running behind you and push you and your camera falls and breaks. Hopefully it doesn't. It's happened to me a couple of times where I've almost dropped my camera because I'm not wearing my neck strap. Always wear your neck strap. Now, when you're going to take a picture, make sure your camera is on autofocus. Usually your manual or your handbook on your camera will provide you with information on how to enable your autofocus on your camera. It's easy. Just read or look at a YouTube video. It helps. I did that when I was learning, but now I know my camera and I know how it works, so it's easy just to autofocus it. The same thing as a cell phone. Brace your elbows. Make sure your elbows are close to your body. Have your left hand as support under the lens. You always want to have under the lens or at the base of the lens of the camera. It's always to have that in order to create a stable shot. Now, when taking a picture of an object, make sure you look for an object and then click halfway on the shutter button. The shutter button should be on the right side of your camera. It's a little black button. You should just click it halfway and it should focus. Now, some cameras have this. I know Canons have this, where it goes red. If you look into the little lens hole, it will show red, and then if you click on the thing on the shutter button halfway, it'll like focus and it'll go dee 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 dee, and it'll make like a little noise. And then if you press all the way down, that's when you have the shutter button go off, which creates a little shutter thing, the shutter noise. Now, I know in some cameras in some shots you might have to adjust your lens. You just move the lens left or right. Like if you're screwing something, you just move it and it will create the zoom in and zoom out little feature. Now, the second topic, lighting and color. Now, for everything, I know during the hot summers, it's usually hot and there's harsh sunlight, like truly like really harsh sunlight. So I really recommend you to take a picture if you're going in early for band practice and you're having rehearsal. Take it at the beginning of the day and towards the end of the day when the sun's going down, because that creates like a golden hour effect on pictures, and it's usually the great lighting. Now, of course, it doesn't matter, like you could be taking a picture at a certain time of the day. Natural good lighting, natural outdoor lighting is the best lighting ever. Now, the things to avoid are, of course, bad lighting, where it's getting dark and literally you cannot see anyone. I recommend you turn on your flash, but be careful with your flash if you're taking it on a camera. Now, on a cell phone, it should automatically adjust if it can. Avoid overexposing an image with too much light or underexposing an image with very little light. Usually overexposed, it turns white, and then underexposed, it's usually dark and no lighting, you cannot see anything. So I recommend you just to have good lighting overall in general. Now, these are a couple of images that I took earlier. For example, this is an orchid. The first image here is underexposed. Now, as you can see, the image is very dark. You cannot see the orchid. It's horrible lighting. Now, you can edit that lighting, but it's going to be so hard to edit. Correct exposure. Now, the one in the middle with the orchid, that shows the vibrant colors, the bright, very nice picture. And then on the last one, it shows an overexposed. Again, like I said before, the image is usually going to be white, and it's very hard to adjust. The lighting, the settings, it's very hard to adjust in the editing process. Now, to the third topic in this little video is going to be the rule of thirds. Now, in a picture, it's usually broken down into 9 pieces. That's like the theory. I learned this theory along in yearbook and other classes. The theory of thirds, the rule of thirds. Now, it breaks down the images to 9 pieces, and some images make sense centered, while others make a bigger impact off-centered. The rule of thirds states that the image is most pleasing to the eye when the subjects are within like a little border and have imagery lines that divide the image into thirds. Now, the theory is that this creates a story behind a picture. For example, in this one, it doesn't tell a story, but it's just an orange. For example, on the side, you could have different angles, and it creates different views of the same object. The one in the center, of course, you use a little grid. Now, talking about the grid, on your phone, you actually have a little adjustment thing on your settings where you can turn on the grid and turn off the grid. Now, if you go on Apple iPhones, you can go on your settings, go to camera, grid, and then it'll have like a little switch off and on. You could just switch it on and switch it off. In this case, I turned it on. I usually have it off. But again, if you're a beginner and you're barely starting or you don't have a clue, the little grid can tell you. If you look at it, there's different perspectives of the same image. Now, going on to the fourth one. Like I said before, in editing, I usually like to use this app on my phone. It's available on Apple Store and Google Play Store. I know I know for a fact that I use it a lot. It's taking up most of my storage. But in this little app, you can upload a picture and then you just edit. It has like a little option where you could face filter, you could blur the background. Now, like I said before, if you take a picture on your cell phone in portrait mode, it'll have a blur background. Just keep in mind that you have to, whatever the phone tells you, like if you're very close, step away. If you're very far away, step closer. Now, if you're just taking a regular photo on your phone, and you want the background blurred, you can actually go on this app and it could allow you to blur the background if it's good quality. There's some pictures that I've taken and it shows that it's not good quality, so it just gives me adjustments to lighting and saturation and all this stuff. You could do that. Now, when I use my camera for pictures, I like to transfer my pictures to computer, then upload them to Google Drive, so that way I have access on my phone. Now, I'll always recommend uploading stuff to your Google Drive and saving it there, because it's just quick and accessible everywhere you go. It's with you everywhere. And then, of course, after I have them on my phone, I save them to my phone, upload to Lensa. Sometimes this might take storage, but again, you could just go back, delete the ones that were raw, and delete them, and then keep the edited ones. Now, when I say organization, now this topic is very important. I recommend you 100% to upload everything to Google Drive. That way you just have it there, and on Google Drive you have options. It's endless. Like, you could share the folder with the directors and they have access to it. You could share it with people and they have access to it. Now, what I did with this is that I know I was in charge of the band social media pages. So in order for me to have all the pictures in one spot, I created a folder called band, and then, or you could just label it 2020 2021 Wildcat Regiment or whatever you would like. I did that, and then I created folders, like subfolders and subcategories inside that folder, with labels. For example, in this one I did announcements, August, December, enrichment days, February, football season, and I did it all those separate labels. For example, the ones in August, I did subcategories for events and stuff like that. Just upload everything to the corresponding folder and you'll have it there. Like, it'll be saved there, and everything's uploaded and everything's kept recently, so you don't have to click save or any of that. It's just there. Now, I really recommend you to keep everything up to date. Like, for example, if you had an important event like in October, pigskin, and now it's like January and you're like, oh, I need to upload all these things, you could just easily go on your gallery, click the pictures, or go to Google Drive and then upload pictures to the corresponding folders. And always have a backup. What I mean by this is, of course, saving everything to a USB, just like the way you did it on Google Drive, having subcategories, folders. Sorry if my dogs are barking, but there's probably someone outside. But again, have everything backed up to a USB, a flash drive, a hard drive, whatever. Everything's could be saved and can be used later on. For example, I was in charge of the yearbook page for the Wildcat Regiment. I just saved everything on a USB and then uploaded it to the system, and I just edit and stuff like that. It's easy to use. Now, I know the directors have access to this. I recommend